A continuación, y para comenzar con nuestro panel, quiero cederle el micrófono a Hugo Castellano.
Hola, ahora sí. Muchas gracias. Primero, un agradecimiento muy especial a EMEX, a todo el equipo de EMEX que por cuarta oportunidad nos permite intercambiar, conectar no solamente el presente y el futuro de la producción de mango en México y el mundo, sino que nos da la posibilidad también de aprender y conocer. Además, bueno, agradecerle también, una de las exposiciones va a ser en idioma inglés, les comento para que utilicen sus dispositivos, agradecerle al personal de traducción que ha hecho un trabajo magnífico durante la jornada de hoy y lo hará también durante el día de mañana. Antes de iniciar, yo pensaba en la figura de Igor de Garín, que fue un antropólogo francés que planteaba un poco el desarrollo de lo que es la cultura alimentaria. Igor de Garín, que visitó México muchas veces, hizo un gran trabajo hablando de cómo comemos, por qué comemos, cuáles son las razones históricas. Y este panel creo que tiene mucho que ver con eso porque conecta esa visión antropológica con la realidad y con el futuro, pero también desde la innovación, desde el emprendimiento, desde el desarrollo de liderazgos, desde la investigación y desde el conocimiento y el marketing. Y rescatando otra figura histórica, Cicerón hablaba de la elocuencia. Uno de los más grandes oradores de la historia planteaba que para decir algo, para decirlo con fuerza, con énfasis, había que ser elocuente. Aquí tengo tres brillantes y elocuentes personalidades que cada una en su ámbito van a aportar y van a enriquecer mucho, no solamente este panel, sino a todo este congreso. Así que en esa perspectiva, en esa idea y en el agradecimiento por ese poder compartir conocimiento, quien les habla, este moderador, va a aprender muchísimo y va a conocer muchísimo. Quiero agradecerle a Allison, quiero agradecerle a Adriana, quiero agradecerle a Mónica por su participación valiosísima aquí en este cuarto congreso. Y voy a empezar con Allison, que tiene una larga trayectoria que en 2012 comenzó a desarrollar de una manera muy especial a partir de un emprendimiento muy particular. Y es un trabajo que ha ido desarrollando a lo largo del tiempo con mucha efectividad y con mucho entusiasmo también. Ella nos lo va a decir. Quiero contarles también a las panelistas y a ustedes que va a haber unos 15 minutos para cada una de las exposiciones y después algunas preguntas adicionales. El tema de Allison, la investigación, el marketing, conocer para saber. Y le vamos a preguntar a Allison a propósito de cómo la industria del mango puede aprovechar, pero desde una manera estratégica, los beneficios, por ejemplo, que tiene el mango, no solamente al consumirlo, sino para la salud. Y ahí ver el tema del mango como producto y así posicionarlo de una manera competitiva. Allison, gracias. Y cuéntanos un poco de tu trabajo en materia de investigación y marketing, que sé que ha sido muy prolífico, muy importante y creo que nos va a enriquecer a todos. Gracias, te escuchamos.
Hugo, thank you so much. And well, I've got to take my headphones off because I can't have Spanish in my ear while I'm trying to talk English. And thank you so much to EMEX for having me here. It is truly an honor to be in the room with all of you here today, with the entire mango industry and my esteemed speakers and moderator. I'm just so happy to be here with all of you and in beautiful Guadalajara. As Hugo mentioned, I have been consulting for the mango industry for many, many years, actually almost 17 years, going all the way back to 2007 when the National Mango Board was first started. And I continue to consult for the National Mango Board today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about some very exciting work that we have underway right now. It is still quite preliminary in nature in that it has not yet been fully approved by USDA yet. We are going through the USDA approval process right now, but we're really looking forward to working closely with USDA over the coming weeks as we get all of this new positioning and messaging for mangoes approved so that we can use it in our marketing programs. But just a little bit about me. I am actually a registered dietitian by training, and so studied nutrition in college and graduate school, and then went on to start my career in food marketing. I worked for the H-E-B grocery company in Texas. I live in Austin, so I'm a native Texan, and worked for H-E-B for a number of years in marketing before then going on to work on the consulting side of the industry. I worked for a large global public relations firm, and then started my own consulting firm, Wild Hive, in 2012. And the work that I am so honored to do with the National Mango Board spans both the health and nutrition research side of the Mango Board, as well as the marketing side of the Mango Board. So what I'm involved with is essentially helping to develop and drive our strategy for health and nutrition research. So determining what we want to investigate, what we want to learn about in terms of the health benefits of mangoes, and then what studies we need to fund and then execute with universities in order to have really good scientific data on the health benefits of this wonderful fruit. And then, with my marketing hat on, I work with the Mango Board's marketing team to then translate what we know about health and nutrition benefits from a scientific standpoint into positioning and messaging that is meaningful to consumers and health professionals, the media, that can be used in social media and throughout the Mango Board's marketing program. And I think the good thing about all of this is when it comes to health and wellness, it is a topic that is of huge interest to consumers, not only in the U.S., but globally. And so I'm gonna step up here and walk you through a few slides here. There's a study that was published earlier this year by the consulting company McKinsey that was looking at the role that wellness plays in the mind of consumers. And it's really interesting to see how this has grown over time. And someone earlier today was talking about how, with the pandemic, during the pandemic and then afterward, health has become just such a huge area of importance for consumers. And it goes beyond just basic health interests onto really a broader concept of wellness. And this study that was published by McKinsey noted that 82% of U.S. consumers now consider wellness a major driver that is behind all of their day-to-day decisions. And that's not just unique to the United States. I mean, that applies to countries throughout the world. Consumers now are thinking about their bodies much differently than we used to. And wellness is a really broad concept in the way that consumers think about it. It's not just nutrition. It's how we feel. It's how much energy we have. It's how well we're sleeping. It's how physically fit we are. So wellness is a very more broad and holistic approach to thinking about health. And that is the mindset that consumers are in today. That is what they're wanting to achieve with their life. Because when we're feeling well, we're feeling good. And when we're feeling good, we can do a lot and we can really enjoy our lives. And that is ultimately what consumers are seeking. So the challenge for us in the mango industry is, how do we take a mango, a fruit, and make it absolutely required for wellness with consumers? That's what we want to do. We want mangoes to become that fruit that consumers go to every day that they want to eat mangoes, not only because they are delicious and they enjoy them, but because they really believe in the wellness benefits of this fruit. And we want them to believe this because there's good science behind that. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. So let's talk a little bit about invigoration. Food has the unique power to invigorate life. We have to eat. Maybe not every day, maybe we can go a few days without eating, but our bodies would not feel good. Food is what gives our bodies energy. It's what gives our bodies life, spirit. It is what invigorates our bodies. And the more that we think about wellness and the way that consumers are interpreting wellness, it's really that they want to feel invigorated. They want to feel that good every day, and they want their food to support their efforts to feel invigorated. Whole fruit is a powerful means to achieve wellness. We know that because all fruits are healthy. All fruits contain numerous vitamins and minerals and bioactive compounds, and pretty much every authoritative health organization in the world is recommending that consumers eat more fruit. We know that most consumers are not eating enough fruit to derive the benefits that fruit, just as a category, has to deliver to consumers, to the human body. Now, what about mangoes? We know a lot about mangoes in terms of its basic nutrient profile. We have lots of messages about the vitamins and minerals and the polyphenols and the dietary fiber that are in mangoes. But consumers want to go beyond that. Consumers, they like knowing those functional benefits of a fruit, but they want to go beyond just basic nutrition. They want to go beyond. Mangoes are high in vitamin C. That's good to know, but it is not a driver from an emotional standpoint. We need to get a little deeper with consumers. So as I mentioned earlier, the National Mango Board has a program where they fund health and nutrition research studies with top-tier universities all over the United States to try to uncover what those health benefits of mangoes are. And we have had several studies published in scientific journals, and we are expecting many more in the coming years. So it's about to get really exciting in terms of the knowledge that we're going to have about mangoes and their human health benefits. But there is a growing body of nutrition and health research that's building the case for mangoes' health benefit profiles. So going beyond just basic nutrients to actually what is that bigger health benefit that mangoes can deliver. And this year, over the past 12 months, my team and I have been really digging deeply into all the research that has been published to date on mangoes and their health benefits, and then also looking at consumer research. What do consumers really care about when it comes to health and wellness? What is driving their purchasing decision making? What's motivating them to go choose one fruit over another? And then we're looking at broader consumer trends as well around the whole food world with consumers. And what we wanted to do was to pinpoint where that sweet spot exists, where we have really good scientific evidence for health benefits from mangoes that overlaps with what consumers really care about, what's going to motivate them to buy mangoes. And find that sweet spot and develop a wellness positioning for mangoes that we could then use to develop a new value proposition for the fruit and to really help direct the way that we talk about mangoes into the future. And so I'm going to share a little bit of this with you today over the next few minutes. And as I mentioned, this is preliminary. So we are going through the USDA approval process right now for the positioning for mangoes, which we are calling naturally invigorating. We love this because invigorating is a concept that no other fruit is using. It is a unique area that mangoes can carve out and own when it comes to wellness with consumers. And we love this because it emphasizes the natural benefits of fruit. It elevates mango's nutritional benefits beyond just nutrients to more emotional needs, that trying to tap into that emotional component of what consumers are trying to accomplish with food when they are trying to derive wellness benefits. We think it's specific enough to differentiate mangoes from other fruits, but it's also broad enough to encompass all the things that we need to talk about when it comes to mangoes, especially in the United States. We still have a lot of education to do, very basic education: how to select a mango, how to cut a mango, how to ripen a mango, what to do with a mango, what are the different varieties, what is the culture in which mango exists, what is the flavor. So there's a lot of things that we need to say about mangoes. We wanted to find a wellness positioning that would be able to hold all of that while at the same time competitively differentiating mangoes from other fruits. And so I'm going to share this pyramid with you here, which breaks down the way that we got to this value proposition, this positioning of naturally invigorating. We started with the science, taking a very hard look at all of the nutrition and health research substantiation that we have for mangoes. And what that really netted out to right now is there are 3 areas where we are seeing the most health benefit promise when it comes to mango consumption: blood sugar management, heart health, and gut health. So there's a number of studies that have been published and that are also in the works right now that are looking at these areas of health related to mango consumption, and we are seeing really great results. Now, that's all good and well, and consumers do care about these things, but we wanted to figure out, how do we take these health states and attach them to an emotional need? Because we know that ultimately, while we do use our brains for most things, at the end of the day, we use our hearts for a lot more. And we wanted to really be able to tap into the emotional need that these health states address. So blood sugar management connects to sustained energy. We want to have that energy to fuel us throughout the day. Heart health connects to longevity and vitality. And gut health connects to wellness and mood. You know, the more that we're learning about gut health, the more that we're learning that the gut really is the seat to broader wellness. It connects to our entire body, and it does have a relationship to the way that we feel and our mood. And then from there, we worked up to how that ladders up to our health benefit, our wellness positioning of naturally invigorating. Now, what does that mean when it comes to our basic messaging? So we took that naturally invigorating value proposition and then went into an exercise of message development. And again, these are preliminary messages that have not been approved, but I wanted to share them with you today, and just more from a framework standpoint, so that you can see how we as an industry can start to come together around 3 key points about health and wellness where mangoes benefit consumers. And it really boils down to those 3 areas that I mentioned earlier: blood sugar control, which connects to sustained energy; heart health, which delivers longevity and vitality; and gut health, which just makes you feel good. And then we've developed our messaging, which gets much more specific into how mangoes deliver these benefits. And then we've got, of course, all the substantiation and referencing to back these messages up. But this is the direction that we will be headed, pending USDA approval, to support the naturally invigorating positioning for mangoes. And like I said, I think this is a really unique opportunity because, going back to what I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, consumers all over the world care about wellness. There is a new wellness mindset that is driving the way consumers are making decisions in their daily lives. And we want mangoes to be right there when they're making that decision. We want them to view mangoes as a solution for wellness. And the way that we can best do that as an industry is if we all get behind a common message, a common value proposition, and a common messaging platform to be driving the same messages home, no matter which country we're selling mangoes in. So thank you very much.